Simple can be harder than complex. You have to work hard to make your thinking clean to make it simple, but it's worth it in the end because once you get there, you can move mountains. Steve Jobs. My friends, we work hard every single day to keep things simple, to look at these charts and to see what's actually going on, what is happening. And what we see today is things are swinging up. Now we look at our overall market trends. A lot of stuff is still down, still lots of headwinds. And like I said, when you're in a bull market, the market goes up, then it'll stack up, go down a little bit, and then it goes up again. When you're in a bear market, which it sure looks like to me, things will go down. And we saw that happen when we got into our first 3 weeks of down movement, ending on the 28th of January. Things went sideways for 2 weeks, backed up a little bit sideways, and then down again for 2 weeks, slowed down in the week ending the 4th of March, then down again on the week ending the 11th of March. And this week we have another green spinning top. Price percent oscillators flattened on us. Derivative oscillator is red but losing downward momentum. Still all negative. Does that mean everything has changed? What are you paying for gas a gallon? How little does your dollar buy? And what's going on in Eastern Europe? But the market will look for things to jump onto and hold on to. It can go on for a while. I don't really care what happens as long as I can read the charts. We have a slowdown in the down movement. Look at this 2-day candle. We see a green spinning top. Now, price percent oscillator spiking up. It may cross over going up. If it does, it's telling you've got an intermediate hold on things. We'll wait, watch, and see if indeed that does occur. And of course, this is a finished candle now. It finished drawing on Wednesday. Derivative oscillator still holding on to a little down movement. We look at the half day and we've had 2 days of up movement. Sort of accelerating up through the afternoon. It sort of got a little squirrely in the afternoon, some down movement both above and below that candle, and then a wick above it too, pushing through that weekly trend line. That's interesting to see both in the morning and the afternoon on the 2-day chart. On the half-day chart. 2-day chart still moving down. We'll try to, can we redraw this? No, we can't really get much there on the half-day. Pushed through the 2-day trend line in the morning, the half day did, and then topped hitting the weekly trend line and then touching it again. So it's always interesting to watch these trend line penetrations. They can give you some idea as to the relative strength of those moves. So we'll keep our eye on things as this week continues to move along and see how much longer, this up movement, this swing back occurs. I've not been taken out of any of my down trades yet. I'm keeping an eye on those, paying close attention, and just sort of seeing how this moves along. I know there's still a lot of downward pressure there, and that's okay because I've done so well on so many of my other down moves, as we have been teaching you lately, particularly in those last 2 trainings. You don't have to win anything. You don't even have to win half of anything, but hopefully you will. You can flip a coin and do that well. Let's move on to the NASDAQ 100. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to take those 2 latest trainings. Now, we see the price percent oscillator flattening on the NASDAQ, also derivative oscillator red losing downward momentum. We have a green spinning top. We do see a penetration, as we saw on the S&P, of that weekly trend line. Look at the 2-day. It is still negative. Price percent oscillators heading up. Derivative oscillator still negative. Got pretty much a doji. Lots of indecision. Penetrating, of course, the 2-day and going right up and touching the weekly trend line half day. Of course, we got things swinging around, heading up. Let's see if we can connect any 3 things. Nope, not going to do it. So we'll connect 2. And we see the price percent oscillator spiking up, derivative oscillator heading up. This is the half day, our smallest of the charts. Shows us what's going on intraday and intraday. Of course, we've had up movement strong over the last 2 days. Overall, though, on the NASDAQ 100, which has seen a lot more down movement than the S&P, things are slowing down, but of course we've seen that twice before in this latest multi-week down move. We'll see how much longer it goes on. What do we see on 20-year bonds? Well, a big down week so far, up for the day, 0.98%. Price percent oscillator, though, still spiking down. Derivative oscillator about flat on the weekly. On the 2-day, you just see candles of forming heading down. Price percent oscillator lost a little bit of that downward momentum. Derivative oscillator still losing upward momentum. Half day, again, you can see where we've been sliding sideways for the day. Overall, like I said, it's up about just about 1%. You can see where things have sort of slowed down in the down movement. And again, price percent oscillator heading up, derivative oscillator losing some downward momentum, but still quite negative. So bonds, a lot of negativity there, the most that we see in any of these charts. Now, gold up 0.63%. You can see where gold really's burned off a lot of that energy after spiking last week. Price percent oscillators flat, derivative oscillators green, losing upward momentum. 2-day, really spiking down. Big down green candle, even though it was up. Down green candle, down red candle. The derivative oscillator still holding on to some green. All the way down actually on that 2-day chart, piercing the weekly trend line. So that's all from yesterday, from Tuesday. Was up a little bit, like I said, for the day. Look at the half day. You can see there was a lot of downward pressure in the morning, recovered some in the afternoon. But even on the even on this half day chart, still lots of downward pressure in gold. So again, that's on the half day. A lot of weakening on the weekly, but still above that weekly trend line. So gold, don't give up on it yet. Maybe that precious metal will turn around if things start going south or the news gets back to really getting investors worried. Of course, you can watch gold spike again. People could just be taking profits. Any number of things could be going on. I took some profits last week. I was happy to. So keep your eye on the precious metal. Lastly, we go to Bitcoin. Bitcoin up for the day around 3% or so, 4.4% on grayscale Bitcoin. But we look at the New York Stock Exchange Bitcoin Index. What do we see here as we zoom in? We see this sideways slide still underway. Is Bitcoin getting some kind of footing under it, getting ready to move up? Price percent oscillator heading up a little bit. Derivative oscillator just barely holding on to some negativity. We are still negative on the big one. The 2-day pulling away from the red signal line. Derivative oscillator gaining a little upward momentum. Green open box spinning top. That's good to see. Half day, of course, crossed over going up. That's nice to see. That doesn't mean anything for us as far as everything changing in the world and being wonderful. Does not mean that. What are we waiting for? For the big kahuna, the weekly to cross over going up. Those of you who are Patreon members, I recorded for you the Charting Crypto today, and we talk about where things are on the weekly chart, what we are waiting for with both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I also talk to you about these short chart trades I have been doing on Bitcoin lately using XYBT, or see, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong chart. XBTF. That is the VanEck Bitcoin strategy. It is a Bitcoin futures. Those who've been paying attention to the news, you saw where the Bitcoin ETFs weren't approved. There was a run made at that lately. It did not happen. But these were approved back in October, November is when they started up. And I have had some nice success with it. I like the way it trades. Of course, prices like a stock, trades like a stock. It is not a trust like Grayscale Bitcoin is. So again, give it a try. You might do a little fractional trading, see how that works for you. That is where we are, folks, as we end the day. Again, Bitcoin, crypto, Patreon members. Charting Crypto is coming out for you this afternoon. Check it out in your email. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.